All right, a real mother goose, once again from Aunt Ray Ray. And we'll see if we can finish it up tonight. Ducks and drakes. A duck and a drake and a halfpenny cake, with a penny to pay the old baker. A hop and a scotch is another notch. Slitherum, slatherum, take her. The donkey. Donkey, donkey, old and gray, op your mouth, gently bray. Lift your ears and blow your horn to wake the world this sleepy morn. If all the world were apple pie, and all the sea were ink, and all the trees were bread and cheese, what would we have for drink? The bells. You owe me 5 shillings, says the bells of St. Helens. When will you pay me, say the bells of Old Bailey. When I grow rich, say the bells of Shoreditch. When will that be, say the bells of Stephanie. I do not know, say the bells of Bow. 2 sticks and an apple, ring the bells of Whitechapel. Halfpence and farthings, say bells of St. Martin's. Kettles and pans, say the bells of St. Anne's. Brickbats and tiles, say the bells of St. Giles. Old shoes and slippers, say the bells of St. Peter's. Pokers and tongs, say the bells of St. John's. Little girl and queen. Little girl, where have you been? Gathering roses to give to the queen. Little girl, what gave she you? She gave me a diamond as big as my shoe. The King of France. The King of France went up the hill with 20,000 men. The King of France came down the hill, and ne'er went up again. Peter Piper. Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers. A peck of pickled peppers Peter Piper picked. If Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers, where's the peck of pickled peppers Peter Piper picked? 1 to 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I caught a hare alive. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I let her go again. An equal. Read my riddle, I pray. What God never sees, what the king seldom sees, what we see every day. I don't know. Read my riddle, I pray. What God never sees, what the king seldom sees, what we see every day. I don't know. The tarts. The Queen of Hearts, she made some tarts on a summer's day. The Knave of Hearts, he stole the tarts and took them clean away. The King of Hearts called for the tarts and beat the knave full sore. The Knave of Hearts brought back the tarts and vowed he steal no more. Come, let's to bed, to bed, to bed, says Sleepyhead. Tarry a while, says Slow. Put on the pan, says Greedy Nan. We'll sup before we go. Little maid, pretty maid, where goest thou? Down in the forest to milk my cow. Shall I go with me? No, not now. When I send for thee, then come thou. What are little boys made of? What are little boys made of? What are little boys made of? Snaps and snails and puppy dogs' tails, and that's what little boys are made of. What are little girls made of? Made of. What are little girls made of? sugar and spice, and all that's nice, and that's what little girls are made of. Bandy legs. As I was going to sell my eggs, I met a man with bandy legs. Bandy legs and crooked toes. I tripped up his heels, and he fell on his nose. The Girl and the Birds. When I was a little girl, about 7 years old, I hadn't got a petticoat to cover me from the cold. So I went to Darlington, that pretty little town, and there I bought a petticoat, a cloak, and a gown. I went into the woods and built me a kirk, and all the birds of the air, they helped me, on all the birds of the air, they helped me to work. The hawk with his long claws pulled down the stone. The dove with her rough bill brought me them home. The parrot was the clergyman. The peacock was the clerk. The bullfin played the organ. We made merry work. A pig. As I went to Bonner, I met a pig without a wig. Upon my word and honor. As little Jenny Wren was sitting by her shed, she waggled her little tail and nodded with her head. She waggled with her tail and nodded with her head as little Jenny Wren was sitting by the shed. Little Tommy Tucker sings for his supper. What shall he eat? White bread and butter. How will he cut it? Without her knife? How will he be married without her wife? Where are you going, my pretty maid? Where are you going, my pretty maid? I'm going a milking, sir, she said. May I go with you, my pretty maid? You're kindly welcome, sir, she said. What is your father, my pretty maid? My father's a farmer, sir, she said. What is your fortune, my pretty maid? My face is my fortune, sir, she said. Then I can't marry you, my pretty maid. Nobody asked you, sir, she said. The Old Woman of Gloucester. There was an old woman of Gloucester, whose parrot 2 guineas it cost her, but its tongue never ceasing was vastly displeasing to the talkative woman of Gloucester. Multiplication is vexation. Multiplication is vexation, division is bad. The rule of 3 doth puzzles me, and practice drives me mad. Little King Boggin, he built a fine hall. Pie crust and pastry crust, that was the wall. The windows were made of black puddings and white, and slated with pancakes. You ne'er saw the like. Whistle, whistle, daughter, whistle, daughter dear. I cannot whistle, mammy, I cannot whistle clear. Whistle, daughter, whistle, whistle for a pound. I cannot whistle, mammy, I cannot make a sound. Bell horses, bell horses, what time of day? 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 3 and away. Taffy, Taffy was a Welshman, Taffy was a thief. Taffy came to my house and stole a piece of beef. I went to Taffy's house and Taffy's was not home. Taffy came to my house and stole a marrow bone. I went to Taffy's house, Taffy was not in. Taffy came to my house and stole a silver pen. I went to Taffy's house and Taffy was in bed. I took up the marrow bone and flung it at his head. The Robin. The north wind doth blow, and we shall have snow. And what will poor Robin do then, poor thing? He'll sit in a barn and keep himself warm and hide his head under his wing, poor thing. The old woman of Harrow. There was an old woman of Harrow who visited in a wheelbarrow, and her servant before knocked loud at each door to announce the old woman of Harrow. Young Roger and Dolly. Young Roger came a-tapping at Dolly's window. Thumpety, thumpety, thump-patty, thump-patty, thump. He asked for admittance, and she answered him no. Frump-patty, frump-patty, frump. No, no, Roger, no. As you came, you may go. Stump-patty, stump-patty, stump. The Piper and his Cow. There was a piper had a cow, and he had naught to give her. He pulled out his pipes and played her a tune, and bade the cow consider. The cow considered very well, and gave the piper a penny, and bade him play the other tune, Corn rings are bonny. The Man of Derby. The little man of Derby, how do you think he served me? He took away my bread and cheese, and that is how he served me. The Coachman. Up at Piccadilly, oh, the coachman takes his stand, and when he meets a pretty girl, he takes her by the hand. Whip away forever, oh, drive away so clever, oh, all the way to Bristol, oh, he drives her four in hand. There was an old woman who lived in a shoe. She had so many children, she didn't know what to do. She gave 'em some broth without any bread. She whipped them all soundly and put them to bed. A thorn. I went to the wood and got it. I sat me down to look for it, and brought it home because I couldn't find it. The Old Woman of Surrey. There was an old woman in Surrey who was mourned noon and night in a hurry, called her husband a fool, drove the children to school. The worrying old woman of Surrey. The Little Mouse. I have seen you, little mouse, running all about the house, through the hole your little eye, in the waistcoat peeping sly, hoping soon some crumbs to steal, to make quite a hearty meal. Look before you venture out, see if pussy is about. If she's gone, you'll quickly run to the larder for some fun. Round about the dishes creep, taking into each a peep, to choose the daintiest that's there, spoiling things you do not care. Boy and girl. There was a little boy and a little girl, lived in an alley. Says the little boy to the little girl, shall I, oh shall I? Says the little girl to the little boy, what shall we do? Says the little boy to the little girl, I will kiss you. When I was a bachelor, I lived by myself, and all the bread and cheese I got laid up on the shelf. The rats and the mice, they made such a strife, I was forced to go to London to buy me a wife. The streets were so bad and the lanes were so narrow, I was forced to bring my wife home in a wheelbarrow. The wheelbarrow broke and my wife had a fall. Down came the wheelbarrow, little wife, and all. Sing, 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 what shall I sing? Cats run away with the pudding string. Do, do, what shall I do? The cat has bitten it quite in two. London Bridge. London Bridge is broken down. Dance over my Lady Lee. London Bridge is broken down. with a gay lady. How shall we build it up again? Dance over my Lady Lee. How shall we build it up again with a gay lady? Build it up with silver and gold. Dance over my Lady Lee. Build it up with silver and gold with a gay lady. Silver and gold will be stole away. Dance over my Lady Lee. Silver and gold will be stole away with a gay lady. Build it up with iron and steel. Dance over my Lady Lee. Build it up with iron and steel with a gay lady. Iron and steel will bend and bow. Dance over my Lady Lee. Iron and steel will bend and bow with a gay lady. Build it up with wood and clay. Dance over my Lady Lee. Build it up with wood and clay with a gay lady. Wood and clay will wash away. Dance over my Lady Lee. Wood and clay will wash away with my gay lady. Build it up with stone so strong. Dance over my Lady Lee. Hoosa till lasts for ages long with a gay lady. March winds. March winds and April showers bring forth May flowers. The balloon. What is the news of the day, good neighbor, I pray? They say the balloon is gone up to the moon. A cherry. As I went through the garden gap, who should I meet but Dick Redcap? A stick in his hand and a stone in his throat. If you'll tell me this riddle, I'll give you a groat. The lost shoe. Doodle doodle doo, the princess lost her shoe. Her princess hopped, the fiddler stopped, not knowing what to do. Hot codlins. There was a little woman, as I have been told, who was not very young, nor yet very old. Now this little living got by selling codlings hot, hot, hot. Miller and Mouse. There was an old woman lived under a hill. She put a mouse in a bag and sent it to the mill. The miller did swear by the point of his knife he never took toll of a mouse in his life. A. Apple pie, pudding, and pancake all begins with A. Apple pie, a pudding, and a pancake all begin with A. Mary's lamb. Mary had a little lamb. Its fleece was white as snow, and everywhere that Mary went, the lamb was sure to go. He followed her to school one day, which was against the rule. It made the children laugh and play to see a lamb at school. And so the teacher turned him out, but still he lingered near and waited patiently about till Mary did appear. And then he ran to her and laid his head upon her arm, as if he said, I'm not afraid, you'll keep me from all harm. What makes the lamb love Mary so? The eager children cry. Oh, Mary loves the lamb, you know, the teacher did reply. And you each gentle animal in confidence may bind. Take it, follow at your will, if you are only kind. Willie boy. Willie boy, where are you going? I will go with you, if that I may. I'm going to the meadow to see them a-mowing. I'm going to help them to make the hay. Polly and Suki. Polly put the kettle on, Polly put the kettle on. Polly put the kettle on and let's drink tea. Suki take it off again, Suki take it off again. Suki take it off again, they're all gone away. The death and burial of poor Cock Robin. Who killed Cock Robin? I, said the sparrow. With my little bow and arrow I killed Cock Robin. Who saw him die? I, said the fly. With my little eye, I saw him die. Who caught his blood? I, said the fish. With my little dish, I caught his blood. Who shall make his shroud? I, said the beetle. With my thread and needle, I'll make his shroud. Who'll carry the torch? I, said the linnet. I'll come in a minute, I'll carry the torch. Who'll be the clerk? I, said the lark. If it's not in the dark, I'll be the clerk. Who'll dig his grave? I, said the owl. With my spade and trowel, I'll dig his grave. Who'll be the parson? I, said the rook. With my little book, I'll be the parson. Who'll be the chief mourner? I, said the dove. I mourn for my love, I'll be chief mourner. Who'll sing a psalm? I, said the thrush. As I sit in a bush, I'll sing a psalm. Who'll carry the coffin? I, said the kite. If it's not in the night, I'll carry the coffin. Who'll toll the bell? I, said the bull. Because I can pull, I'll toll the bell. All the birds of the air fell singing and sobbing when they heard the bell toll for poor Cock Robin. The mouse and the clock. Hickory, dickory, dock. The mouse ran up the clock. The clock struck one, and down he run. Hickory, dickory, dock. Hot cross buns. Hot cross buns. Hot cross buns. 1 a penny, 2 a penny. Hot cross buns. Hot cross buns. Hot cross buns. If ye have no daughters, give them to your sons. Bobby Shafto. Bobby Shafto's gone to sea with silver buckles on his knee. He'll come back and marry me, pretty Bobby Shafto. Bobby Shafto's fat and fair, combing down his yellow hair. He's my love for evermore, pretty Bobby Shafto. The bunch of blue ribbons. Oh dear, what can the matter be? Oh dear, what can the matter be? Oh dear, what can the matter be? Johnny's so long at the fair. He'd promised he'd buy me a bunch of blue ribbons. He promised he'd buy me a bunch of blue ribbons. He promised he'd buy me a bunch of blue ribbons to tie up my bonny brown hair. The woman of Exeter. There dwelt an old woman of Exeter, whose visitors came, it sore vexed her. For fear they should eat, she locked up her meat, this stingy old woman of Exeter. Sneezing. If you sneeze on Monday, you sneeze for danger. Sneeze on Tuesday, kiss a stranger. Sneeze on Wednesday, sneeze for a letter. Sneeze on Thursday, something better. Sneeze on Friday, sneeze for sorrow. Sing on Saturday, joy tomorrow. Pussycat by the fire. Pussycat sit by the fire. How can she be fair? In walks the little dog, says Pussy, are you there? How do you do, Mistress Pussy? Mistress Pussy, how do you do? I thank you kindly, little dog, I fare as well as you. When the snow is on the ground, the little robin grieves. When the snow is on the ground, for the trees have no leaves, and no berries can be found. The air is cold, the worms are hid, for Robin here, what can be done? Let's strew around some crumbs of bread, and then he'll live till snow is gone. Robin a bobbin. Robin a bobbin bent his bow, shot at a pigeon and killed a crow. John Smith. Is John Smith within? Yes, that he is. Can he set a shoe? Ay, marry too. Here a nail, there a nail, ticky-tack too. The year. January brings the snow, makes our feet and fingers glow. February brings the rain and thaws the frozen lakes again. March brings breezes loud and shrill, stirs the dancing daffodil. April brings the primrose sweet, scatters daisies at our feet. May brings flocks of pretty lambs, skipping by their fleecy dams. June brings tulips, lilies, roses, fills the children's hands with posies. Hot July brings cooling showers, apricots and gillyflowers. August brings the sheaves of corn, and then the harvest home is born. Warm September brings the fruit, sportsmen then begin to shoot. Fresh October brings the pheasant, then to gather nuts is pleasant. Dull November brings the blast, then the leaves are whirling fast. Chill December brings the sleet, blazing fire and Christmas treat. Handy Pandy Jack-a-dandy loves plum cake and sugar candy. He bought some at a grocer's shop, and out he came, hop, hop, hop. A nick and a knock, a nick and a knock, a hen and a cock, and a penny for my master. The seasons. Spring is showery, flowery, bowery. Summer, hoppy, croppy, poppy. Autumn, wheezy, sneezy, freezy. Winter, slippery, drippy, nippy. Billy, 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 come and play while the sun shines bright all day. Rain, 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 go away, come again another day. Little Johnny wants to play. Jack and Jill. Jack and Jill went up the hill to fetch a pail of water. Jack fell down and broke his crown, and Jill came tumbling after. Then Jack got up and off did trot as fast as he could caper to old Dame Dob, who patched his knob with vinegar and brown paper. The Farmer and the Raven. A farmer went a-trotting upon his gray mare, bumpety bumpety bump, with his daughter behind him so rosy and fair, lumpety lumpety lump. A raven cried croak, and they all tumbled down, bumpety bumpety bump. The mare broke her knees, and the farmer his crown, lumpety lumpety lump. A mischievous raven flew laughing away, bumpety bumpety bump, and vowed he would serve them the same the next day, lumpety lumpety lump. Christmas is a-coming, the geese are getting fat. Please put a penny in the old man's hat. If you haven't got a penny, a halfpenny will do. If you haven't got a halfpenny, God bless you. And with that, we've run out of Mother Goose. You guys have a good night. I love you, Poppies. I love you, Poppets.